What if Africa's future was being decided not just by battlefield confrontations or televised speeches, but by silent economic wars, veiled alliances, and carefully disguised betrayals, right inside the walls of power? This is how Alassane Ouattara is fighting Ibrahim Traore from within. By the end of this journey, you'll see why the real battle for Africa's sovereignty isn't always fought in plain sight, and exactly what it means for the continent's next generation. Before we dive in, welcome to Pan-African Lens, where Africa's past, present, and future come into focus. From cultural pride to political power shifts, we spotlight the stories shaping the continent and its global diaspora. If you believe Africa deserves to be seen through its own lens, subscribe now and be part of the movement. Let's get into it. Let's set the stage. Alassane Ouattara, once hailed as the West's perfect student, groomed by France, trusted by international lenders, a face of progress and democracy in Francophone Africa. But beneath the polished surface lies a deeper game. Ouattara isn't merely the president of Côte d'Ivoire, he's the man France counts on. For decades, he played by rules written in Paris. Keep the CFA franc system protected, keep French corporations in control, speak the language of neoliberalism, secure foreign contracts, and let reform sound like liberation, even if it isn't. Why does this matter to the battle between Alassane Ouattara and Ibrahim Traore? Because these two men couldn't be more different. Ouattara, a technocrat, a diplomat, a man molded for Western approval. Traore, a soldier, a revolutionary, a symbol of local pride and African resistance. One upholds what has been. The other dares to reimagine what could be. When you look at the surface, it's easy to see just two leaders with rival visions. But the real struggle is hidden. It unfolds in boardrooms, at summits, in whispers exchanged between embassies and banks. It's hero versus villain, or maybe friend or foe, depending on where you stand. Have you ever wondered, can progress be called justice if it's still built on the foundations of dependency? If you believe Africa must rise, comment, Africa must rise. Flashback to 2010. Ivorian streets fill with hope and tension. The world's headlines promised democracy, but votes were counted and quickly discounted. The Ivorian Constitutional Council declared Laurent Gbagbo, a Pan-African nationalist, the winner. The West, led by France, anointed Alassane Ouattara instead. Then came Operation Licorne. The echo of French gunfire in Abidjan replaced the promise of ballots. Gbagbo was removed, not by his people, but by foreign troops. Democracy rewritten. Ouattara settled into power, offering warm thanks to France and opening Côte d'Ivoire's riches, cocoa, oil, infrastructure, to the same Western firms that had groomed him decades before. The presidency became not just a seat of power, but a checkpoint for outside interests. If you serve Western priorities, you receive silence when you bend constitutions and jail opponents. If you challenge them, ask Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, you become the villain. But that's not just all. The installation of Ouattara was a message to all of West Africa. Play the game by France's rules or be removed from the board. Traore, rising from Burkina Faso, saw this. He didn't forget. AES forever. Say it loud in the comments. Love and politics. Sometimes they collide and shape destinies. When Alassane Ouattara married Dominique Nouvian, it wasn't just a union of families or even nations. It was a strategic alliance. Their wedding, held in Paris with Nicolas Sarkozy himself officiating, symbolized a fusion of Ivorian ambition and French power. Dominique, born into a legacy of colonial privilege, would chart a path through the world of luxury real estate, connecting Africa's elite to European capital. As First Lady, she didn't stick to the background. With her Children of Africa Foundation, she served as the bridge between Abidjan and Paris, hosting galas and shaping influence far beyond charity. Her proximity to French policymakers and business executives made Dominique a force in Ivorian politics. Many say her influence stretches directly into regional strategies that isolate Traore's Burkina Faso and the AES bloc. Critics of Traore find refuge in Abidjan, their media platform supported by the same networks that benefit from Dominique's connections. Is this the definition of friend or foe? Or is it a snitch in the house, trusted by the nation, loyal to outside forces? Pause and think. Have alliances in your life ever appeared one way, but delivered the opposite outcome? In Africa, wars aren't fought solely with bullets. Economic sabotage is a silent war. Ouattara wields it like a master of the game. The CFA franc, enforced through WEMU, the West African Economic and Monetary Union, has always been a lever of control. What happens if a country asks for a share of the pot it helped fill? Ask Ibrahim Traore. In early 2024, Burkina Faso, led by Traore, requested $1 billion in WEMU funds to ignite a national development plan. Ivorian delegates, on Ouattara's orders, said no. Their rationale? Democratic uncertainty. The real reason was resistance to neo-colonial control. So Traore watched as his people's future was stalled, not by foreign soldiers, but by signatures in neighboring boardrooms. That's not just all. When Mali tried to shift its oil contracts away from French intermediaries, shipments were delayed. Niger's bold stand against uranium exports, French connections, facilitated by Côte d'Ivoire, moved to block regional energy reforms. At every turn, Ouattara defends France's hand in the region, deploying regional power not to unify West Africa, but to keep it divided and reliant. If you believe in Traore's bold vision, comment, "I stand with Traore." Not all battles take place on the ground. Some are waged through airwaves, social feeds, and the world's most powerful weapon, the story. Disinformation campaigns, directed at Traore and backed by deep pockets, find a welcome base in Abidjan. Ouattara's government opens doors to Burkinabe opposition, now in exile, who flood regional media with negative portrayals of Traore's governance. What is the cost of this narrative? ECOWAS, once a symbol of unity, now acts as an enforcer for Paris, quickly sanctioning the AES bloc for breaking away from CFA control, even as democratic abuses at home are ignored. French-funded and international media highlight supposed instability in the Sahel, while glossing over suppressed protests, constitutional maneuvers, and media blackouts in Côte d'Ivoire. Ask yourself, do you control your story, or does someone else dictate the narrative? Every time a revolutionary movement like Traore's is attacked for its sovereignty, the subtext is clear. Independence is dangerous. Dependency is safe. That's not just all. Why does the world recoil at youth fighting for local pride, but cheer when technocrats reinforce the status quo? If you stand with AES, say it loud. AES forever. Revolutions are often slow ripples, not sudden storms. But listen to the rumble. Bouaké students debate policies. Yamoussoukro traders ask hard questions. Social media lights up with calls for real sovereignty. Ouattara's regime quietly cracks the whip to hold these tides back. Not with open violence, but with a web of divided loyalties and regional pressure. But can these tactics last forever? African proverbs teach, no matter how long the night, the day will surely break. The more Ouattara fights Traore from within, through currency controls, regional alliances, and soft power exiles, the more glaring the need for true independence becomes. Every closed bank vault, every exiled voice, every silenced protest only fuels the fire. The younger generation, inspired by the example of Burkina Faso, starts to see through the facade. The question isn't just about two men, it's about whether Africa will write its own destiny or remain penned in as a footnote of foreign agendas. If you believe Africa must rise, comment, Africa must rise. As the AES bloc gains ground, the shadow cast by Ouattara's inside fight looms large. But history has always favored those bold enough to fight for justice. The betrayer is never the hero of tomorrow's stories. As France, ECOWAS, and their allies try to stifle change through familiar tricks, sanctions, financial blockades, or media campaigns, the heartbeat of Pan-African justice only thumps louder. What does victory look like? Factories owned by locals, not multinationals. Cocoa profits flowing to families, not just shareholders overseas. Youth proudly wearing their roots instead of apologizing for them. Traore's struggle isn't just Burkina Faso's fight. It's a catalyst for the next phase of Africa's freedom. You, the viewer, are part of this awakening. Where do you stand? Have you seen local ingenuity blocked by outside rules? Do you believe true justice requires local control? Final reflection. Legacy is more than a name. It's the impact your choices write into the soil and soul of your people. Thanks for watching Pan-African Lens. If this story moved you, inspired you, or opened your eyes, hit like, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. This platform is powered by your voice, so let's keep building, questioning, and celebrating Africa together. Until next time, stay proud, stay curious, and keep the lens focused on truth.